Hello, friends. I hope you're having an amazing day. I certainly am, and I really enjoy being here, spending time with you. My name is Tawnie. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and welcome to today's Tawnie Talks. Let's go ahead into the fishbowl of questions, imaginary questions that I've either been asked or have come across myself. So let's go and find out what today's question is. Today's question is, Dear Tawnie, I shop online a lot and oftentimes I go over my budget. My husband and I do not agree on how we spend our money, but how do I stop feeling guilty and hide these online packages from my husband? I don't want to be dishonest, but I don't want to argue as well. Please help. What a great question, and one that I'm sure many of us can relate to. What do we do when we're in a situation where we don't agree on finances? This is an often topic that comes up in my counseling sessions. Well, I think it's really important that you and your spouse get on the same page about spending money, because one person's opinion might be really different than the other person's. And this can really affect the way that you divide up your finances, plan vacations, and definitely how much debt you incur. So it's important to get on the same page with this. And if you're finding it really hard to get on the same page, then consider eliciting the help of a marriage counselor, a counselor that can help you, or even a financial planner that can sit down with you both and talk about the best ways to manage your money so that both of you can reach a situation where you can compromise. Now, compromise is another really good word here. It's really important that you compromise when it comes to spending money and money habits. One person has got to give, the other person has got to take, and vice versa. Because what happens is if one person only gets what they want, leads the other spouse feeling really alienated and feeling like their opinions don't matter. And so it's important here to kind of have a little give and take. Shared debt, shared finances, shared spending habits, everything I truly believe should be talked about and shared. Obviously, I wouldn't want anyone to go into debt. I have also counseled people who've been in debt, and it's caused great havoc, a lot of stress in their lives. So as much as possible, I'm going to say go ahead and use your hard-earned cash instead of those credit cards so that it kind of keeps you out of debt, okay? If you can. Not everyone can do that, but if you can, that's what I would encourage. Also, another thing I encourage is to have a shared checking account where you share checking accounts so that no one has their own separate account and they're hiding money from the other person, because that can get really hairy too. And I know that could be a controversial topic among counselors and couples, but I truly believe in having an open door policy when it comes to finances. You get to see what I spend. I get to see what you spend. Our money is our money, and we get to budget and spend money and plan trips and everything together. And I think it really facilitates open dialogue and compromising, problem-solving skills. There's so many great things that can come into a conversation over finances when there's nothing hidden, everything's on the table. And I think ultimately it will bring you closer when you get a chance to talk about things in the open. Now, the other issue here in this question is falsehood, right? We're lying, we're deceiving, we're hiding packages. I know I read online somewhere about a lady who asked her delivery person to hide packages from her husband. So I know this may be a common practice out there. And I do want to say that if you are in a marriage where you feel you have to hide your spending or hide packages from your spouse, I would recommend that you really stop and consider what that really entails and what you're really doing with these behaviors. You are hiding purchases from your spouse, so you're obviously knowing that you're doing something that your spouse would not approve of, or else why would you be hiding it, right? And then ask yourself, how would I feel if my spouse did the same thing to me? And he was making expenses that I didn't know about and didn't bother to tell me about so that I would have a say in it too, right? So we want to treat others how we'd like to be treated. And I think truth and honesty is so important in a marriage, in a relationship, in friendships. I think being honest is always going to be the way to go. So there's your honor and your honesty there. The other thing is it adds a lot of stress because then you're lying and, packages can pile up. Spending can easily get out of control. You can go into a lot of debt here and eventually you'll most likely be found out. So I think it's always good to have an open and honest dialogue about finances. And if you feel like you've gone too far down the hole, it is never too late to start over. Never too late to stop spending, never too late to start over, and have that open dialogue conversation with your spouse. If you're finding that you're having a hard time not buying something or going on websites or shopping apps or going into stores and making purchases, then find ways to distract yourself when you feel that urge to shop. And it can be something as simple as going outside and going for a walk, or calling up a friend and talking, or learning a new hobby or a skill that you haven't learned before. Something that you can do to distract yourself in that moment so that your brain gets a break from giving into the urge of shopping, and replacing it with another behavior that's going to be more beneficial for you and cost saving for you. So I think those are some good tips to get you started on that. Really, really tricky here. Want you to carefully pay attention to the motivation as well as to why you're shopping. Is this an item that you really need or is it an item that you want, right? Then pay attention to why you're lying to your spouse and hiding those packages. Is this a behavior that you want to continue down the road? Would you want your children to replicate this behavior? Is dishonesty a commonplace in your marriage? Really evaluate the reasons behind your behavior. And then distract yourself when you feel that urge and that need to shop. See if you can substitute that with another activity. Going for a walk, calling a friend, learning a new skill, reading a book. See if you can find another replacement behavior that will give you that same satisfaction that you get from shopping. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you find it helpful, I'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe to this channel so that you get first dibs when I go and submit another video. If no one's told you yet today, I want you to know how special and how wonderful and how unique you are, and that there's no one like you in the whole wide world. And I cannot wait to see you on the next video.